Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is, in my opinion, the best Metal Gear game in the entire series. Not only does it have an epic storyline and music, but it also has a lot of incredible gameplay to match. The gameplay I would give a 9.5 out of 10. The game is composed of non-linear, stealth, survival action. You control Naked Snake, also known as Big Boss. Control Big Boss throughout the entire game. Remember, this is a prequel to the other Metal Gear Solid games, and takes place in the 1960s as opposed to the 2000s. Metal Gear Solid 3 is the most realistic one of them all. It is a very non-linear navigation system throughout the entire game, which is similar to Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, but not the fourth one, because that one is more linear. It's set in chapters. And there is a new element to the game where you need to capture food in the forest to eat and regain stamina and battery life for your items. Stamina plays a role in regaining your health automatically. Also, there is a mode where you need to conduct surgery on yourself, such as removing bullets, splinting broken bones, and healing burns, etc. On top of that, you control Naked Snake in the usual stealth action similar to Metal Gear Solid 2, but the enemies are much smarter, and it's harder to escape evasion. It's also harder to evade enemies, so it's more realistic. In addition to using weapons, the best thing is that you can CQC enemies, close quarterly combat. This is the coolest and most useful way of playing this game. You can fight enemies, knock them out instantly, kill them instantly. You can snap their neck and stuff. Makes it very realistic that you can do this in this game. And you can also do it in the fourth one too, but it started in Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. It was excellent gameplay overall. The plot also flowed very nicely with the gameplay. The plot I'd also give a 9.5 out of 10. Metal Gear Solid 3 takes place in the 1960s and is a prequel to all the Metal Gear games. The story is epic by all means, and the characters are flawless. Remember, this is not the story of Solid Snake, but of Big Boss, who is the legendary hero. Solid Snake was actually created from Big Boss in the 1970s in the game under the Les Enfants Terribles project, along with Liquid and Solidus Snake. The main antagonist of the game is a female war hero named the Joy, or the Boss, who was Snake's former mentor, and Volgan, who is a brutally vicious Russian, attempting to launch a nuclear warhead using the Shagohod, which is like a prototype or a predecessor of the Metal Gear, which is designed by Granin, who you meet in the game as well. Anyways, it's a great story. The good thing about the story in Metal Gear Solid 3 is that it did not interfere with the gameplay at all, in any way. In fact, a lot of times throughout the plot, you are put back into control, which is great. Unlike Metal Gear Solid 4, where you're just sitting there like watching a movie. It's not really like that so much, until the ending in Metal Gear Solid 3. The music, I'd give a 9.5 out of 10. All the Metal Gear games, from the NES versions to the PS2, PS3, and the PlayStation Portable, PSP, all have great music. Harry Gregson Williams is one of the game's composers, as well as many at Konami and Kojima Studios. It's always a blessing to have great music in the Metal Gear Solid games. The graphics for a PS2 game, the graphics are incredibly realistic, very quick and high quality. The game designs are very detailed, and the backgrounds and stages are very real. The cutscenes look very nice. The only problem was some lag at times, but this is most likely because the PS2 hardware could not handle some of the very detailed graphics. Actually, it almost looks like a PS3 game when you're playing it. It's very realistic. Overall, I give this game an A 9.5 out of 10, 95%. One of the best games ever made, not only in terms of story, but gameplay as well. Metal Gear Solid 3 is a fantastic shooter, stealth, survival, and epic all in one. Not to mention, there is a bonus release of MGS3 called Subsistence, which has plenty of extras, new camera angles, and a special bonus disc that has the original Metal Gear 1 and 2 games from the NES on it. Snake Eater is Konami's best game ever made, in my opinion.